You know, we've been using the same sprites for a while. I think it's time to make this look like this. Stay tuned to see it happen. Since this project is coming to an end, it would be nice to start polishing up the artwork a bit. Not only that, but we'd also like to add some props to the game to make the maps look richer in detail. Just like the new rocks we added in the previous episode. As you can see, the rocks are more detailed than the rest of the assets. So in this video, we're going to raise the old tiles and props to the same level of quality, as well as add a few new ones. I would like to note that the following videos and the end results are not the same, because when I was drawing the first time I
totally forget to press record.
But don't worry, they don't look too far apart and the process is the same. So, without wasting any more time, let's get into it. If you're interested in learning or getting better at pixel art, check out Make Your Own Pixel Art by No Starch Press. I'm mostly self-taught, but this book helped me improve my technique by quite a bit. And it's always interesting to see how other people do things. Let's see what we have right now. As mentioned before, most tiles look really basic and are dying for a makeover. But before that, let's just add a few more tiles here at the bottom. These rocks served us well in our intermediate maps, but we need a few more. We're going to add some trees for the grass tiles, and something that could go on the sand tiles. To make things easier this time, I'll create the new props on a separate canvas. I have a background layer that has the grass color on it, just to make sure that the tree looks good standing on top. Then I'm going to turn on horizontal symmetry to mirror everything I do. With the brown color selected, I'm going to start drawing the trunk. And with the green color, I'll draw the leaves. Once I have a shape that I'm happy with, I'll select it with the magic wand tool. The reason for this is to prevent my brush from drawing outside these boundaries. Note, I could have accomplished this with a masking layer. Now, I'll sample the color using the eyedropper tool and shade it to a darker shade. With a smaller brush and the horizontal symmetry still on, I start shading the leaves. Usually I start from the bottom with a darker color and then take a lighter color going towards the top. I do the same for the tree trunk, but this time I shaded the bottom and the top with a darker color. Then I draw a shade in the middle with some lighter colors. This tree is done, but I'm not really happy with it. I'll quickly make another one using the same method. Usually it takes a lot of trial and error, and you'll end up with a bunch of trees, so in the end you just pick the one you like the most. With the trees done, let's make something that suits the sand well. We already made some maps with sand and they look a bit empty. Same as last time, we start with the background on a separate layer and turn on horizontal symmetry. I'm going for a cactus, so I'll add a straight green line. On a separate layer from the body, draw some cute little hands for the cactus. Repeat the process of shading, starting from the bottom and going towards the top. When we're finished with the body, do the same for the arms. And one final layer for the spikes. Quickly dot them in some kind of pattern and change the color if you need to. That cactus will be the only large obstacle on sand tiles since there won't be a lot of sand in the game. So let's make some bones as a small sand obstacle. Here's something we designers like to do. We take something we already made, change it a little bit, and call it new. Let's take the two small rocks from before, flip them, and start erasing bits of it. Then I'm going to select each color on the rock and give them a bonish color. Now, I don't really like the changes that much, but it's not far from what I'm looking for. An easy fix is to go to Edit, Adjustment, and Brightness and Contrast. Just move the sliders a little bit until you get something you like. Okay, we have the last batch of obstacles. Probably can't promise anything. So, let's start improving the old artwork. And let's start with the hardest one, the windmill. In a new file with our windmill, let's just make our lives a little bit easier and separate the roof from the building. If you ever look at my files, you'll see layer names that sometimes don't make a lot of sense. So please, don't pay too much attention to them. Sometimes they're not nice words. The windmill is a cylinder shape, so we have to draw round lines for them to make sense. I'm going to divide the building into 4 segments like this, and then start drawing the bricks. This doesn't look that bad, so let's start coloring it. I'll select a darker color and draw an outline around the edges. Then I'll add a second outline that's just slightly brighter than the main one. Now the building looks much better, but we're not stopping now. With a lighter base color, we add a few pixels in a few places on each brick. And finally, recolor the door with the darkest color we've used. For the roof, we first have to fix the angle on the bottom. Luckily, I still have the sprites I copied in my clipboard, so I just paste and remove a few bits. The rest of the roof is just like the building, only it's a different shape and color. Okay, the hard part is done, so now let's do something easy but time consuming, like the stripes on the wall tiles. As you can see, there are a lot of them, but I don't want to change them too much anyway. I just want to add a bright color in the middle to make it look a bit 3D. Something like this. This is going to take a while.
One eternity later.
In the meantime, I've also added the dark brown lines behind each stripe. Anyway, let's start some grass now. Let's make this patch of grass look a bit nicer. I was thinking of a football field kind of look, but with not a lot of contrast to distract the player. Firstly, I'm going to divide the sprite in half since they're going to be the same apart from the color. Then, on the bottom part, I'm going to make a pattern using a dark green color that I'll change later. The reason for this is, if I use the color I want in the end, I'll have a real hard time seeing what I'm doing. And don't worry, you'll notice a small difference in the end. When we make the pattern that we want, we copy the entire thing to the top part. And now we play around with the colors until we have something that we like. Just to make sure everything is okay, we go to View, Tiled mode, and select both axes to see if the pattern fits. Alright, now that we have the patch of grass complete, we can work on the flag tiles. First, let's make some adjustments. On the new layer, we'll paste the grass we've made. And from the whole layer, we'll remove the plain green grass. Then for the flag, let's also give some color to the side to make it look like a pipe. Around the hole, let's add some dark green and go darker with each pixel. On the bottom part of the pole, we give some dark gray colors. Now this is just a frame of the flag, we have 4. However, we can copy most of it and just draw on the rest. Let's see the animation. Yeah, that's not bad. Now we just take each frame and update our sprite sheet. The last things that will change are the water and sand tiles. If you remember from our old videos, they're actually the same sprite but with different colors. That's still the case here. So on the new layer, we're going to place the central water tile. This time, we'll start by activating tiled mode and set the grid size. We're also going to activate both horizontal and vertical symmetry. With a dark blue color, draw a wave shape. And now, I'm going to select each part and with the gradient tool, add some quick and nice patterns. I'll also play around with the colors until I find something that I like. Now we have to work on the edges. I've pasted the body of water behind so that I can see all the edges at once. On one layer, we have the new tile we've just made. And on the second is the old body of water. I'm going to paste the new tile on top of each existing tile. And then, I'm going to select the dark color from the old design by going to Select and Color Range. This will select every pixel of that color. Now, I go back to my new design, with the selection still active, I press delete and you can see the edge is getting a new pattern. I'll quickly do this again for the other dark blue color. For the sand tiles, like I said at the beginning of this video, we'll just change the color and it's a brand new object for the game. This was fun and all, but let's see all of this put together. Back in Godot, we can already see the new textures. Let's just add the new props I've just made into its appropriate biome. So, this is what it all looks like in game. I kinda like it. Let's also see if it looks nice when we zoom out. Yup. So there we go, hang on. That's better, I didn't make those new sprites for nothing. Anyway, we've successfully gave the game a little polish. Consider subscribing or give us a follow on our social media. In the next episode, we'll be making some more maps. So until then, have a good one.